Hi guys, my name is Shikha and welcome to my channel Shikha Reads. Today I am here with my review of Arthala, which is a mythological fantasy series written in Hindi. This is first book in the series and the name of this series is Sangram Sindhu Gatha. This book was sent to me by the author Mr. Vivek Kumar for review. Truly speaking, when I received this book for review, I was so happy because finally someone contacted me for review of a Hindi book. If you don't know, I love Hindi and Bengali books. But on another hand, I was little bit apprehensive too. See, the thing is, I think that nowadays most Indian authors, especially who write mythological stories, they are a bit lazy. Most of them just serve us Ramayana or Mahabharata wrapped up in different covers. I mean, we have these fantastic magnum opuses, we have read them, we have watched the television series so many times, we have also read so many retellings. Do we really need more retellings in our life? But this book, it just blew my mind. Honestly, I was not expecting to like this one so much, but here I was falling in love with this story with each passing page. The world building, oh my god, it's just mind-boggling. It's so vast. I have never read something like this in fantasy genre, and I know I'm sounding like a fangirl right now, and I do not care. Let me just explain the plot to you guys so that you get an idea why I like this story so much. First of all, this is the map of Jambu Dweep, the fictional country where this story takes place. It is fashioned after India. I'll put a map here somewhere for your reference. In this fantasy world, we have humans, of course, then Devtas who are gods, Yatis who are kind of gods, Danavs who are demons, Asurs and Rakshas. If I translate that into English, it's monsters, but in Hindi they are different forms of monster. And lastly, we have Bhidaksh Jati who are basically giants. Just think about it, how vast this world is. I think after Lord of the Rings, this is the first book which I've read where there are so many different kinds of fictional characters. So the main protagonist of the story is of course Vidhan. He is a village potter who lives in kingdom of Kundar. His father was killed by the evil prince. After that, he trained vigorously under Guru Khan, who was like a father figure to him. But his life changes again completely when some soldiers kill his guru on orders of that evil prince. At this point, we get to know that Vidhan has a special power called Bhumi Siddhi and he is a Siddhi Dharak, though he doesn't know anything about that. The main story begins when few soldiers from Arthala visit Vidhan and ask him about his Siddhi. They request him to visit Arthala and meet their queen Vasundhara. Once he reaches Arthala, he gets to know more about history of that place. He meets warrior queen Vasundhara and she informs him that Arthala is about to be attacked from two sides by Santhar and Mundra and they are in dire need of his help. Being a potter's son, Vidhan is not much educated. He got his physical training from Guru Khan, but when it comes to history, geography or politics, he knows next to nothing. All the royals decide that they will send him to University of Amarkand, which is the greatest university in Jambu Dweep. There he will be able to complete his education speedily in 6 months and most importantly, he will be able to develop his skills as a Siddhi Dharak there. Around the same time, we are introduced to the kingdoms of Santhar and Mundra. We meet Danav Prince Dakshan and King of Mundra, Jaybhadra. Also, there is elaborate backstory about palace politics, which I'm not going to explain right now. By the end of the story, Vidhan completes his education. He comes back to Arthala. He meets mighty Dhananjay, who is Queen's brother and King of Ayodhya, Ravidas. Dhananjay advised him to retrieve Guru Khan's Shakti Kundal from Santhar. He and Ravidas also help him to get it back. And the book ends with an epic battle scene in Danav Kingdom. Okay, let's start from the world building. I have never read something like this. Every damn thing that happens in this book happens for a reason. For example, you are not supposed to respect the gods or fear the gods just because they are powerful. They are superb creators too. They have worked very hard to hone their skills. They excel in the field of medicine, science, technology, warfare, and that's why people respect or fear them. They're also very intelligent. They do not share their secrets with the humans because they know as long as they excel in their field, humans will respect them, and once they share their secret, nobody will respect or fear them. Isn't it shrewd? Now I'm going to talk about my favorite community, the villains community, except for the fact that they do not seem like villains. Their side is explained so well. All these monsters have their own set of problems and once you see the world from their point of view, you will definitely sympathize with them. All these Danavs, Rakshas, Asurs, they are not like your average Hindi movie or English movie monsters who are like humans, food, let's eat. No, they are strategical business people. Danavs, they deal in spices or to be precise, addictive spices. They call it Danav Niti. They are like this cool drug mafia who do not fight in open battles. When they want to capture a kingdom, they go to that place, they sell their spices and after a point all the powerful people in that kingdom are in their pockets. Similarly, we have Asurs who are weapon sellers. They are not into this capturing kingdom thing. They mean business and they want money. So they sell their superior weapons to kings and when those kings go on war, their business flourishes. Then we have Rakshas. In the beginning, they were supposed to be saviors of humans, Raksha equal to Rakshas. But with time, they got corrupted, they turned into cannibals, and now nobody believes them. Do you get this cop vibe from them? Like they are cops of this fantasy world. With time, they got corrupted, and now nobody believes in them. See, all these things are taken from today's world. Drug lords, mafia boss, weapon sellers, strategic business people, humans busy in their petty fights while these people turning powerful. Tell me, have you ever read a fantasy story which merges real life problems with fantasy so beautifully? For a small part in this book, there is a rebel Danav who runs an NGO or rehab center for all the outcast. He has formed this army of outcasts, social pariahs, and drug addicts. He provides them food, medicine, shelter, and once they are rehabilitated, he provides them training to turn them into soldiers. It's fascinating, isn't it? Humans in this book are just like any other human beings, royals busy in winning wars, expanding their kingdom, conspiracy theories, all the while unaware of bigger problems, while the poor subjects only worry about their day-to-day problems, just like today's world. I won't be able to talk about all the main characters because there are so many of them. Well, they are not irrelevant, they serve their purpose and then they go away. Of course, I have to talk about Vidhan. He is not like a typical fantasy hero, always ready to fight or sacrifice himself at the drop of a hat. At the beginning of the story, we see that he's not educated enough, but he's not foolish. He thinks a lot, he listens to everybody, and then he puts his question. He doesn't blindly trust the person just because they are powerful. He is wary of them, as he should be. When Queen Vasundhara forces him to do something, he clearly refuses her. His character develops slowly throughout the book. He works hard to attain his siddhi, and even after he attains it, he doesn't turn into a Superman who can kill 50 people with a punch. There is this down-to-earth quality about him which I really liked. Women in this book are fantastic. They are not used as showpiece. They are mothers, queen, military commanders, warriors, professors, secret agents, you name it, they are running the show. When we are first introduced to Queen Vasundhara, it feels as if she can only think about Arthala and she is very selfish to her core. She wants to save it at any cost, which is true to an extent. She is very devoted to her kingdom. But once we read the story from her point of view, it becomes clear that how much she has sacrificed for her kingdom. So of course she is going to think about it first and we cannot resent her for that. Then we have Danav Dakshan or Mahamahim. He is supposed to be the villain, but it feels as if he's the hero, so I'm going to call him anti-hero. He's powerful, calculative, resourceful, shrewd. All his life he is treated as a pariah by his own people, but he tolerates all those insults just because he loves his elder brother. He's cute, right? The battle scenario in which he was introduced, I was stunned to see that he won that war by just using a simple tactic. Again, the way he won that throne from his father, I was speechless. There is a saying in Hindi, "Saap bhi mar gaya aur lathi bhi nahi tooti." He used that brilliantly. But just when I was about to fall in love with him, we get to know that he's a wife beater. He loves to beat his wife to a pulp, and it's like you take this character to a peak and make him jump that peak and whoosh, all the respect gone. Why would you do that, author? But I think that's the beauty of this story. Your feelings change constantly. This book is written in authentic Hindi language in its purest form. Author has refrained from using any contemporary word, which gives this book an olden day vibe. The way this book is written, it creates a vivid picture in your mind. You can clearly imagine all the places mentioned in this book, whether it's a fortress or a cottage or a hospital or a university, it doesn't matter. The names of the characters are very simple and yet very distinguished. There is only one little problem which I found. This book is written in pure Hindi and kids from today's generation, they don't understand old Hindi, so maybe they'll find it little bit tedious. They don't generally use or understand words like Gavaksh or Kadali or Savita Narayan, so maybe it'll be a little tough for them to read this book. I'm saying this because I want teenagers to read this book. We always praise Greek or Roman mythology or English fantasy stories, but we forget about our own mythology, which is so vast and fascinating. We just need right authors to represent it properly, and it is one of those books. There are so many questions running in my mind now. For example, who are Basant and Mayuri? Who is this suspicious Mahaprabhu guy? What is the connection between stones and Vidhan? Where is Thul? I want to know more about him. And Bhidaksh Jati, when are they coming? Well, to know all these answers, I have to wait for the next book, and you, my friends, have to read this one first to know about all these characters whom I have not mentioned. Right after finishing this video, I'm going to give this book to my sister because I mentioned this book so many times in this week that she's interested in it now. If I could, I would have passed this book through this camera so that you can read it as soon as possible, but we all know that it is not possible. What you can do is you can go to author's website and read the sample chapters. I'll mention it down below. You can also buy the book from Amazon. It's a 450 page long book book and it costs around rupees 120 to 130, which is quite low for such a long book. And on that note, I'm going to wrap up this super long review. Please go down in the comment section down below and let me know whether you like this video or not. Also, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.